Hey, let's review the 250 class here from the Daytona Supercross. This is brought to you by our buddies at Troy Lee Designs. This is really interesting. Jordan Smith, I don't know how he does this, but he's always under the radar, and he always sneakily ends up getting these wins and then suddenly finds himself in championship contention, and that's exactly what he's done. First two races of the year, Smith rode well, got bad starts. Round 3, good start, didn't ride that well. This time he finally had the combo, the start and the riding. Looked like Jeremy Martin was going to make a charge at him, and for a few moments he did. We know that Martin's great on a track like this. He was very good in the 450 class at Daytona last year where he finished second. Martin made a charge, but ultimately couldn't quite get close enough to show him a wheel or really put heavy pressure on. And Smith had it dialed in. He actually credited a lot of the work they did this week with some bike changes, just some small setup stuff. But more importantly, he worked on sprints all week. He said in Atlanta he was disappointed to get those starts and then not have the speed in the early laps to take advantage. So they really worked on sprints all day on Thursday before he came here. Whatever it was, it paid off because he did have that sprint speed early. It allowed him to open up that little bit of a gap that Martin was never able to overcome. Austin Forkner, good news, bad news. He beats Zach Osborne because Osborne started pretty far back. He gets third, a podium, that's good, but his win streak does come to an end. But Forkner again proving, besides that controversial incident, which there are many sides of that story last week in Atlanta, besides that, he's proven to be consistent, he's proven to be smart, pretty good for a second-year rider to put it on the podium, and now we've got a deadlock for the points lead. And it's unfortunate for Osborne because he rode unbelievably well. He was 19th in the first lap, and then 2 laps later, he was in 9th. Now, it did help that this Daytona track was a little bit easier to make passes on than the last couple of years. Ricky Carmichael and the gang, they weren't held by trying to aim for a certain lap time because they knew they were going to do a 15+1 and a 20+1 minute-wise in the main events this year. Up until this year, they'd always run it based on the old lap count. So we didn't have a lot of those tight S-turns. We just had long rhythm lanes, which the riders like. It allows them to get next to each other and make passes. But it wasn't enough for Martin or Forkner to figure out a way to get Jordan Smith, who has once again, quietly, under the radar, pulled himself within 8 points of the lead, and he's just looking to start heating up at this point. So as much as it's Forkner versus Osborne, we've got another contender. Who knows? Maybe we'll take it down to Vegas just like we did last year. Thanks to the guys at Troy Lee Designs for backing these videos. See you next week.